Up, everybody? What is up? Thanks for hanging out with us today. We do appreciate that. We are Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. Reminder, we will be doing our show from Ocean Casino Resort, both shows actually, on Thursday. Sports Take from 12 to 3 Eastern. And then Gunnar and I in person, but Barrett contributing as he always does. They're in spirit, as we like to say. We'll be doing our draft show there on Thursday night. And here's hoping, Gunnar, I have one wish. Let's make it about us for a minute, okay? I have
Sounds good to me.
Okay. Just please don't trade completely out of the first round where you and I are sitting there dancing for 4 hours and nothing happens. Ultimately, other than, hey, they'll have plenty of picks the next couple of days. No. Okay, I had to get that off my chest first.
Yes, I agree with you 100%. I want to be there for a purpose. I love the ambiance there at Top Golf. So some of you fans, if you can get in there, come on in and say hi to us at Top Golf and let us know. We always like to put a face with all the names, all the colorful names and comments that are in our chat on a daily basis. We'd love to see
any of our friends here.
There's a number of the names here that it's like you get to know them personally because you see so many comments from them.
And please tell us who you are so we, when we see it, please.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. I think we'll know John Dickerson. If he finds a way to get in, I think we'll know him. But yeah, if you can find a way to get in and be a part of it, come on out and say hi to us.
Yeah.
Like we were Rob will buy you a drink. You know what I said, Rob.
we were gifted last year because we got the AJ Brown trade and everything just skyrocketed from there. It was great. It was a lot of fun. We had, Jordan Davis also, et cetera. But it was a good time last year, that's for sure. Here's hoping that we get some more wild draft night stuff. So, all right, as I mentioned, we know they're sitting there at 10 and 30. Their history does not suggest taking players they necessarily need, depending on, a quote unquote need. So they haven't taken a running, not that they need a running back necessarily, but this is to the Bijan stuff. They haven't taken a running back since 1986 in the first round, and that was Keith Byers. A linebacker since 79. Now, I'm not counting edge guys who also could be, like Marcus Smith is also sort of a linebacker, but he was more of an edge guy, whatever. Right. Since 1979, Jerry Robinson. Safeties, usually they look in the second round. Bobby Taylor was a corner, but they look at like Michael Lewis types in the second round, those kind of guys. Anyway, do we think, and this could apply to safety, linebacker, or running back in your estimation? I'll ask either one of you guys, whoever wants to jump on it first. Is this the year that we see them change suit? That we see them do something different than they normally have done with those positions specifically?
Nope.
Okay. Let's see. Linebacker, safety, running back. Linebacker, safety, running back. Are you specifically talking about that number 10 pick?
Or 30? I'll take either one.
30. You saying 30? Now, they might do it at 30.
Okay.
At 30, number 10, it's not a snowball's chance of hell they don't get somebody that's in the trenches.
When you have it, as I've said time and time again, and as we've gone over this, when the experts have figured there's only 17 or 18 legitimate first round picks in this draft, if I'm the Eagles and I'm in the prime position, I just came off a Super Bowl and I'm standing at number 10, I want one of those 17 legitimate first round picks to enhance my product. So I don't think they would touch a running back, a linebacker, or a safety at number 10. I think they're going to stay status quo and do what they have been accustomed to doing. They're going to find somebody to build this thing from the inside out. And that's why I said yesterday, talking to people, I said either Jalen Carter if he's available or Paris Johnson if he's available. And I'm going to stick with that until further notice.
So, Barry, you think possibly 30?
Yes.
Definitely not 10.
Definitely not 10. Possibly 30. Possibly 30.
Yeah.
And I know Bijan won't be there. Like I said, he's going top 9. But a guy like Gibbs, I think they could take a look at. A couple of those linebackers we took a look at. I mean, I could see them, jumping around there and getting the linebacker, and that's just me being overzealous. I've been like this for the past 6 years, 7 years, that they need to pick up a linebacker in the draft around that area right there, man. I really do think so. So, I don't know, man. It's looking like they're going to go with two defensive linemen. To me, it's going to be two defensive linemen in the draft. It'll be two guys that have their hands in the ground. So,
all right, I think 30. Anything can happen. I'll stay firm on they're not drafting. If you were to fall there, I know you don't think you will, Barrett, but if you were to fall there, I don't think they would take Bijan at 10. I think they're going most likely defense at 10.
Yep.
And then if they sit at 30 could really be anything. Honestly, it could be anything. But I think it's going to be defense. I know a lot of people have Skoronski going there. I don't think it's crazy, but I think it's more likely it's defense. I think it's Nolan Smith. I think it's Miles Murphy. I think it's somebody like that at 10 ahead of Skoronski.
Yes.
I think if it's defense, there's a whole plethora of players coming into play. If the draft starts to slide the way we think it is, there could be a quarterback who slips up higher than we expected. There could be a run on cornerbacks earlier than we expected. We talk about how 6 of the 9 teams in front of the Eagles need defense. Some need offensive help. Some need a future tackle, cornerstone tackle, but they're also defense. There could be a couple of cornerbacks that go in the top 9, which allows those D linemen to start sliding down. And it could, if it's Nolan Smith, Jalen Carter, whoever the case may be, it's going to be interesting to see which one the Eagles identify as their number 1 candidate to come in and help out this defense. But that's the one thing that really intrigues me. We keep seeing these quarterbacks go up and down. It was C.J. Stroud forever. Then all of a sudden, Bryce Young leaped in front of him. And now we get word that there could be another possible quarterback candidate who may have risen or who the scuttlebutt is may have risen, which means other QBs may slide down.
All right, so let's go. Why don't we go there? Let's do it.
Do you want to do it now?
Let's do it. What the heck? So Will Levis, there's a little late push, I guess, however you want to put it, from some people that Will Levis is going to now go first overall. Pete Prisco, who's covered the NFL for a long time for CBS Sports, has been saying that he's his guy, and he thinks that's what he's hearing, et cetera, et cetera. Also on Reddit, the odds have jumped greatly for Levis to go first, which when you start paying attention to the stuff in Vegas, that's a sign that this stuff could be real, because that's money. That's not just mouth. That's not just speculation. So when that kind of stuff changes, but the only thing I would say is just keep in mind there's a lot of smoke screens out there, people. But yes, Levis went somehow from being the 4th guy behind Bryce Young, Stroud, and Richardson to now potentially, in some people's eyes, being first. So, we buying this?
Didn't the odds go from 40-1 to 4-1 with him now being first overall?
I thought it was. Let me check. Hold on. I'll pull it up. I'll pull it up for you.
Or 10-1 or something like that.
10-1, yeah, something like that. All right, yeah. Well, Barrett, you buying it? While I pull this up, I'll have it for you in a second.
I'm not buying it because Will Levis is just a lot. He's just too unpolished to go number 1. I mean, he's even less polished than when we saw
Richardson. Yeah.
And to me, anytime you're not as polished as Baker Mayfield, you're not gonna be that type of quarterback now. And they need somebody to play right now. I mean, where could he go? Will Levis could go somewhere like maybe the Titans.
Okay, so I got it here, Derek. I got it. Okay. So in a 48-hour span, Levis' number 1 pick odds went from plus 5,000 to plus 2,000 to plus 1,000, currently plus 550 at Fox Bet.
Something's happening here. That's not accident.
Right. He now has the 2nd lowest odds of getting taken first, according to Fox Bet, behind just Bryce Young.
Damn. So he's jumped Stroud.
He has jumped Stroud. He's jumped Richardson.
Yes. Wow.
So right now, Bryce Young is still first. But this has been a major move. That's only in the last 48 hours. 5,000 down to plus 550 is a giant move.
When the market starts moving like that, somebody knows something. Somebody knows something. I mean, teams historically have reached for quarterbacks every year. There's always a reach for a quarterback. I went through the numbers, and I'm going to throw some names at you guys, and to show you how this is not a rarity when teams start reaching for quarterbacks. And I just want you to bear with me, Mr. Brooks, and I want you to just listen to this litany of names that I have that have turned out to be first-round bust when it comes to quarterbacks. Now, Cleveland is on this list 3 times. I showed you how bad Cleveland is.
Of course they are.
Cleveland's on the list with Tim Couch, 1999 first overall.
I remember that. Yep.
Johnny Manziel, 22nd overall.
Can't forget that.
And Baker Mayfield, first overall in 2018.
We're still living that.
Listen, okay, now listen to some of these other names. Tim Couch. David Carter, Houston. Heath Schuler, number 3 overall to Washington. Jake Locker, number 8 overall to Tennessee. Andre Ware, number 7 overall to Detroit. Achilles Smith, a number 3 overall to Cincinnati. Ryan Leaf, number 2 overall to the Chargers. Jamarcus Russell, number 1 overall to Oakland. Dwayne Haskins, number 15 to Washington. Now, I just honed in on the 2021 draft, and maybe it's unfair.
Oh, you forgot Carson Wentz.
Oh, yeah. I deliberately left that knucklehead off the list. Let's go to 2021. Zach Wilson, number 2 overall.
Yep.
Trey Lance, number 3 overall. Go back to that 2018 draft. Now this is just in the top 10.
This is it now, yeah.
Okay. Baker Mayfield 1, Sam Darnold 3 to the Jets, Josh Rosen, number 10 to Arizona. Okay.
Yeah.
So think about the litany of quarterbacks that have come and people thought they can't miss. Ryan Leaf was one of the biggest busts in the history of the NFL. So there's somebody that's going to reach and screw this thing up. Yeah. But based on the numbers Rob just mentioned from Vegas, the fact that Levis is jumping up now to the second highest possibility to go number 1 overall, somebody's talking, somebody knows something.
Let me give you this, so a little bit more on this, okay? So there's a Reddit user by the name of Sale Agreeable 2834, an account created 6 days ago. Posted Levis has told people he will be drafted first by the Panthers. Then Fox Sports, Patrick Everson, it reported yesterday, even the tiniest bit of information has bookmakers on high alert. When info drops and you have to react quickly, Joey Fiesel, who's the lead college football trader for CBS Sports, says this isn't the first time that a quarterback's name has rocketed up in terms of that. Yep. Levis posted a positive S2 cognitive test score, which moved some lines last week when that information was leaked. As for his, we all know that he's been up and down on the field a little bit. If you look at him, he's got the body and all that, but like that doesn't mean anything. We see plenty of dudes who look like, Tarzan, the rest. But anyway, so there's a lot of, I don't know, man, like weird stuff going on here with this. And what's real, I don't know.
Wait until draft eve and draft day. In terms of all the rumors out there that just start surfacing like wildfire. Just wait, and we're all scrambling. We're all scrambling, trying to check information and look and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
That's when it really gets interesting. Tomorrow is when it really starts to get interesting into Thursday.
Yep.
In terms of who's whispering what and where.
You're right.
Bro, I got goosebumps. My stomach is turning right now of all, going into this draft, because this draft right here, this is going to it's not going to make a break. This is going to be where Howie Roseman's really got to show me how good he is a GM. He's already pushed the needle on the team and filling spots that I didn't think he could fill. He's filled those spots. Like in all actuality, this team could go into next season with this roster and be very, very competitive in the NFC. With the roster that they have right now, they could still win the NFC, not just the NFC East, but the NFC with the roster that they have right now.
Yep.
This is where I'm going to say, all right, I'm going to see how good you are and what your mindset is and your framework of what made you take this player here and implement this player here. You're going to get a player that's going to play right now, or is it going to be a project guy? I don't know what direction how he's going to go in. And this is why my stomach is in knots, because for the first time, I really don't know. Yeah. I really, in all honesty, don't know. We knew Smitty. We needed a wide receiver. We needed, just like Carter needed liver pills. We needed that guy. We needed that pick. Just this last year, You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We needed a first round receiver, and we got, Brown in a trade, but we also needed a defensive lineman to run what they called a 30 front or 50 front, either a 50 front and a 30 front. Where you need a head up nose, you needed a guy that can go in there and establish themselves as the root hog in the defense. We did that last year. What exactly do we need the most right now?
That's why I brought it up like this, Barrett. You need linebacker safety, I think.
Yes.
You're
But
not
they're not
taking
going to go that route. Nope.
Not at 10 at least.
But see, I'm thinking that's the biggest needs right now, though.
Yep.
Linebacker and safety. Even though they can field the team right now, we'd be so weak in those two areas.
Yes. And their quarterbacks are going to eat. They're going to eat all day in the middle of the field. You look at how complete that team was last year. What do teams have the most success against this Eagles defense? Throwing in the middle of the field to the tight end or to the crossing route.
Running.
And now you're
the rock in the middle of the field.
There you go.
In the middle, yeah.
You had that stout D line, and running right at them was more effective than trying to run away from them.
Yep.
See?
Yep.
So
if you got a boss linebacker, you can stop all that.
you can stop all that mess. Do they have a boss linebacker right now?
We don't know.
Right. And so that would lead to a couple things. Maybe they trade down. And they could justify it if they go a little bit lower. Maybe 10 is just, it feels like it's such a spot where you got to take like edge. You got to take corner.
Yeah.
You got to take offensive line. And if you needed it, a wide receiver or quarterback. It doesn't feel like the spot where you take some of the need picks. It's almost the best available grab, which then you get into the whole Bijan thing if he's there too.
Right. Well,
this is why this is so fascinating. It really is.
But look, no, Ben Waiting. Tell me who you would pick then. I'm talking what I know. And right now I know what positions we are not deep in. I know that. You tell me, since you know.
Well, I'll say this too. The other thing is you don't have a lot of depth even in the positions where you're good.
No.
Right.
Like last year you had depth. You don't have that now. You're thinner along the offensive line, especially if Jurgens is moving to guard. Because if either, a guard or your center goes down, he's going to have to hop over there. It's just a lot, it's a lot. But I'm going to stay on the trying to move up train. It feels like Will Anderson's a pipe dream. I admit that, but maybe you could get up and get Carter, but that feels hard too at this point. But
you're not going to get Will Anderson because he's a franchise cornerstone type of player. You're not going to get him.
Carter may slide.
Carter could.
Just might slide.
Carter may slide,
especially when this whole quarterback system starts going.
Yeah,
and that's when I know you're going to get some trades then, because if Will Levis goes first, that creates just
the whole thing is chaos, right?
Yes. It now teams are going to be reaching and throwing the kitchen sink at teams that down there at that point. Because you left Stroud, you left these guys sitting there. Oh, we got to go get them. We got to go get them. So then the floodgates going to open up. Of all right, we'll give you this, and that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, let me throw one more little log into the fire. Another Todd McShay quote from one of his tweet that he put out there. Quote, multiple sources have told me Georgia defensive tackle Jalen Carter isn't expected to be the Seahawks pick.
Ooh.
So you have sitting there at 5. So if you're assuming Will Anderson goes, then you're talking about does Detroit or the Raiders grab him? I don't think Chicago does. Atlanta, maybe.
All right, so look. So the Carolina Panthers, if I go with what we're thinking, I'm still thinking they're going to go with Bryce Young.
Okay.
Who's
number
that?
2?
Carolina.
Carolina.
Okay. Carolina. Yeah. Then the Titans at pick number 2. I don't think also that the new head coach is going to tie his wagon to a quarterback in this draft. So why not go to your college and get the best defensive player in the draft in Will Anderson?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He picks Will Anderson.
Mm-hmm.
Then at the number 3 pick, you have the Raiders, right? Is it the Raiders?
The number 3 pick?
Yeah, don't they?
No, Arizona's 3.
Number 3 is
Arizona.
Arizona.
Okay, Arizona's
Yeah, Raiders are 7.
Okay. If Arizona, I think Arizona gets Carter.
Or they trade out of that because they're looking to trade out of it. So
Right.
if they trade out of it, then Colts are taking a quarterback at 4. But then the problem you have is Seattle and Detroit and Vegas all could go defense. Oh,
I don't know. I mean, Vegas could go quarterback because Jimmy G, he's kind of underwhelming. Even though he's back to his offensive coordinator, he's kind of underwhelming as a player, man.
I don't think it's impossible. Let me put it that way. That they take a quarterback. I don't think it's impossible, but you paid him pretty decently and you stunk on defense last year.
Yeah.
Can you go with sort of a luxury pick who isn't going to play for the next couple of years versus a defensive player who gets right on the field?
Nah.
If you're them.
I think
And McDaniels is maybe coaching for his job.
right. No, it's not maybe. Yeah, he is coaching for his job.
So I think that he's probably going to lean towards getting someone who's going to help him right away to get on the field, I would think.
Right. And which way do you go? You go Carter there or you go Tyree Wilson?
They already have Crosby on one side. I'd have to look at what else they have. Let me look at them. I know. I mean, last year they had a lot of problems. The defense was certainly one of them.
A whole lot of problems. They got Crosby and they got Chandler Jones.
Yeah.
So they need somebody in the middle.
That feels like Carter.
Either Carter or Wilson.
They have Tillery. They have Bilal Nichols.
Yeah.
Not a lot behind them. Yeah. Yeah. That's why you have to get up if you're the Eagles. You're not sitting there at 10. It's not happening.
Nope.
For either one of those guys. No shot. You got
we know the Colts. The Colts are going to get, do they get now Will Levis or Stroud?
I think I would think they go Stroud. I think they go Stroud or Richardson over Levis. I think they go either one of those two guys over. I don't get the Levis thing. I don't get the Levis push here. I don't understand.
I don't get it either. I mean, he did run a pro style offense not last year, but the year before. Yeah. This year he was running for his life.
Yeah,
he got the hell beat out of him, bro.
He didn't have help. Yeah, he didn't have a lot of help.
Not at all.
There's 3 teams that I could see making a push trying to get into the top 15, and all 3 are in NFC East. Washington's at 16, Giants at 25, Dallas at 26. If there's 17 legit first-round picks, all 3 of those teams need players they need to plug and play right away. Mm-hmm. Okay? I look at Washington. Washington has 6 picks. They picked 25th, or they picked 16th in the first round. They have in the second round, the number 47 pick, third round, 97. Look at the Giants. They have 10 picks. They have the 57th in the second round, 89th in the third. Dallas is 7 picks. They have 58 in the second, 90th in the third. Those are all 3 of those rounds. Those are commodity picks right there. I can see those teams trying to package some picks and try to slide up and pick somebody they really want. Mm-hmm. Because they know they've got to try to close the gap as much as they can. The Eagles didn't win the Super Bowl, and what's the theory? If you don't win the Super Bowl, you're allowing the opposition to close the gap every year on you, okay? And I can see all 3 of those teams trying to make a move. Now, Washington's right on that cusp. Number 16, you just might.
Hold on, Ben Hayes, what the hell are you talking about?
Ooh, why are you paying attention to this dude?
Well, because this is a nut dude. Know what the hell is he talking about? He knows nothing about football. He's talking. He's just talking to himself.
You just did what he wanted you to do. Why are you paying attention to these dudes, man?
Ignore trolls. I was trying to say
know what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody worried about what he's thinking. We know what we know. Nobody's worried about what he's thinking.
Talking about. He's irritating just because he doesn't know. He's just randomly talking.
He doesn't believe what he's saying. He's trying to get a rise out of you.
Right. Well, he did it that time.
It
worked. So yeah,
he's right. It's all about him. He's right.
Yeah,
it's all about him.
As long as everybody knows it. So anyway, yeah. I mean, I think the Eagles with their aggression could absolutely be in play for one of these guys. Here's the thing: if they've come to the conclusion and they've fallen in love with Carter or Anderson, What's going to stop Howie from getting to 3 from 10
Well, the only
with
way
the
you
way
do
that he
you would-
operates?
you would have to package what 10 and 30.
Yeah. And
10 and
something
30.
next year too, I would think. I would
You
think
think
one of those 12
with
compensation
2 first
picks.
rounders?
It's a lot, right? It's a lot.
Yeah, especially in this draft.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. You might have to, because just like you said, for the draft this year, they're not even bringing in all 32, guys that they say are going to be in the first round. They're only bringing in 18 players. That's crazy. Never heard of that before.
And their pick is late. If they just stay pat, their pick is late in the second round at 62. So it's almost a third rounder. So, whatever. I'm just throwing it out there. Look, here's the bottom line. We could sit here and this is fun. I love doing this stuff, but it could go a lot of different ways. And you're at the mercy of others in front of you. You don't control the only ones who control their destiny is Carolina. That's it.
Yeah. Right.
And I believe I'll predict this, for Eagles aside. I think Arizona trades out. I think Seattle, somebody in that 5, 6, 7, Seattle, Detroit, Vegas does something screwy. And then all of a sudden everybody's head starts spinning when we get around 8. I think there's gonna be some weird stuff going on. It's my prediction.
See, we don't talk about Tyree Wilson either. Tyree Wilson is one of those uncut diamonds. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And his size, speed, quickness. He's somebody that you could build a defense around. He is that talented as far as and he doesn't even really have the technique right now, and was still mauling people. He's interesting,
Yeah.
They could probably get down to him, but I doubt if they can get the.
He could be there without moving, right?
Right. But I doubt if you can get the Carter. Carter's just going to take too much to get. He's too. Yeah. In fact, if this wasn't, if it wasn't for those 2 quarterbacks, well, 3 quarterbacks now, I would venture to say that Carter would probably be the number 1 pick in the draft if it wasn't for the quarterbacks. His talent level is that high. What happened in this offseason was the only thing that brought his level of competition. That'll be the only thing as far as competition, as far as others being able to get into that upper echelon of athletes in this draft. You know what I mean? Because you look at him and you look at Will Anderson. Those guys are the cream of the crop of this draft. Those 2 are the numero unos. That's 1A and 1B as far as best players in this draft.
Yeah.
Then after that, if you go 1A and 1B, if you're going to go 2, I would have to say it would probably be Bijan Robinson, but I know we're not taking him.
Right.
As far as being, somebody in the draft that you would say is, has the highest ratings as far as, bang for buck in this draft would be Bijan.
It would. Yeah. If that's what you're going to stay true to, if that's what you're all about, just, hey, best available, whatever, then yeah, that's where you absolutely make a case for Bijan, for sure.
Absolutely.
All right. So we'll swing it back to the NFL stuff at 2, and we'll get into some of this, something that Rand Carthon, who's running the show in Tennessee, had to say regarding Derrick Henry, because there's been some rumors linking the Eagles to him. John Lynch addresses Trey Lance. A big-time defensive player has ankle surgery. We'll give you an update on him. We'll revisit Aaron Rodgers. And speaking of Aaron Rodgers, we're going to rank the AFC East in order now that Rodgers is a Jet. We'll do that when we come back at 2 o'clock. Coming up next, we'll dig into a little bit of Sixers. We got a Joel Embiid update and a little Philly. So we're back at it tonight as well. Don't go anywhere. Derek Gunn, Barrett Brooks, Rob Ellis. We are Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. Time to tell you about the great folks. I mean, great folks at Pro Action Restoration. Yes, Pro Action Restoration are the people that you reach out to, that you call if your home, a business you own, a property, you may go through the pain, the inconvenience, just the absolute fear of fire, water, smoke, mold damage to that property. You're not really sure how to handle it. Pro Action Restoration is on call 24 hours, 7 days a week to assist. I know I went through it with my parents' house, reached out to them on a Saturday, and they got right there, cleaned it up. Price was right. Crew was professional, clean, very reasonable. They are licensed, bonded, fully insured. Pro Action Restoration has been serving the tri-state area for more than 2 decades. Yes, Pro Action will work in conjunction with your insurance company. So again, it could be water, it could be fire, it could be smoke, it could be mold remediation, you name it. They can handle it. Give them a call, 610-623-3760, 610-623-3760, or online at proactionrestoration.com. That's proactionrestoration.com.